Have you ever wondered what secret rituals go on behind the heavily guarded walls of a Rolex factory? What makes a single timepiece command the price of a small car? In the mythic heart of Switzerland, where the mountains cradle secrets older than memory and the air itself seems charged with a centuries-old promise, the story of a Rolex begins. To the world outside, a Rolex is a symbol of success, of power, of achievement. But within the fortress-like walls of the Rolex factory, time is measured not in hours or minutes, but in heartbeats, in breaths held as tiny miracles come to life under the gaze of masters. It all starts before the world ever sees a dial or a crown, in a place few outsiders have ever glimpsed: the foundry. Here, Rolex does what nearly every other watchmaker in the world would call madness. They make their own metals. Gold, platinum, and a unique, impossibly tough stainless steel, known as 904L, are melted together in crucibles. The alloys born of a recipe so closely guarded that even the flames seem to flicker in deference. The foundry is a sanctum, its atmosphere pure, its tools immaculate, its artisans alchemists in all but name. Every ingot that emerges is the product of an obsession with perfection, an obsession that will echo through every component of every watch. Yet the true heart of Rolex is not fire or metal, but the human touch. In rooms so clean that hospital operating theaters pale in comparison, artisans gather, each a guardian of tradition and innovation. Here, machines serve as companions, not overlords. They measure and assist, but the final command always belongs to the human hand. Take, for example, the legendary Elise, her name spoken with reverence, her hands steady after decades at the polishing wheel. Over 12,000 bezels have passed beneath her fingers, each one caressed until it radiates a glow, both brilliant and soft, a light that seems to whisper of the mountains outside and the centuries behind. The air is filtered and refiltered, flowing in silent waves, so pure that a single mote of dust is an event. When a craftsman assembles the movement, the beating heart of the watch, each part is placed not just with precision, but with care. The movement itself is a symphony of over 100 tiny components, levers and springs and jewels, each one shaped and polished until it is perfect, each one vital. In this silence, broken only by the faintest click or whir, time itself seems to hold its breath. Mistakes are not tolerated, but they are not punished either. They are mourned as one might mourn a misspoken word in a sacred prayer. A dropped screw is not simply retrieved. It is examined, its journey traced, its tale learned before the work resumes. This is not manufacturing. This is devotion. Once the movement is assembled, the case and bracelet await. These too are handled as treasures. The 904L steel is polished to a luster that defies the imagination, resistant to corrosion, harder than what most thought possible. The gold shines not just with wealth, but with the inner fire of the foundry that birthed it. The sapphire crystal is set with a care that borders on tenderness, for it is the window through which the world will glimpse the soul of the watch. But the journey is not over. No Rolex leaves the factory without facing trials that would break lesser creations. Over 200 hours of testing await, an ordeal that simulates the extremes of human endeavor and the unpredictability of the natural world. The watch is spun and shaken, subjected to magnetic fields, exposed to brutal vibrations and sudden changes in altitude. It must remain impervious, unyielding, its precision unshaken. For a Rolex is not only a companion to those who scale mountains or dive beneath waves, It is a witness to history, and it must never falter. And then, there is the secret. The ritual whispered about, never officially acknowledged, but known to every true insider. In a room, tucked away from the bustle, beyond the laboratories and the test chambers, a final inspection is performed by candlelight. Here, a single flame dances, and the watch is cradled in gentle hands, turned and examined. Why candlelight? Because harsh spotlights can make anything gleam, but only a true masterpiece can glow with dignity in the softest, most forgiving light. Here, every flaw is revealed, every virtue magnified. Only if the watch passes this most intimate scrutiny is it deemed worthy of the crown. At last, the Rolex emerges, no longer mere metal and glass, but something alive, something eternal. To own a Rolex is not simply to possess a timekeeper, it is to hold a piece of history, to wear the legacy of those who have poured their passion, their skill, and their very souls into its making. It is to carry on your wrist a symbol not of vanity, but of values, precision, perseverance, truth. This is why, for those who truly know, a Rolex is not about status. It is about soul. It is about the silent promise that endures within every tick, every gleam, beneath the candle's flicker. That excellence is not an act, but a calling. And in a world that races ever faster, that forgets so quickly, a Rolex stands as a quiet defiance, a reminder that some things are still worth doing, not just well, but perfectly. For in the end, to make a Rolex is not to keep time, it is to keep faith.